You're gone and I gotta stay high all the time to find.
The Indian Express. The Indian Express, as a newspaper, has been one of the pillars of media freedom. Fighting with Indira Gandhi during emergency or exposing Dhirubhai Ambani's corrupt practices, this newspaper has done it all. But this would not have been possible had it not been for the fighting spirit of its owner, Ramnath Goenka. What is known is that in 1932, an English newspaper, the Indian Express, was started in Madras, but due to financial difficulties was sold off twice. This time, part of the paper's stake was sold off to Ramnath Goenka, a Marwari trader from Bihar who had landed up in then Madras. Eventually, he took control of the newspaper. It is rumored that this involved court cases and controversies. The paper openly fought against the British, even shutting down during the Quit India movement in response to a British gag order. In 1944, the company shifted its headquarters to Mumbai. But after the Ramnath Goenka's death, the succession battle split up the newspapers in 1995. The Indian Express, published in northern India, is now under the control of Ramnath Goenka's grandson turned adopted son Vivek Goenka. Currently, Vivek Goenka's son Anand Goenka is helping in taking the newspaper online. On the other hand, the new Indian Express, published in southern India, is under the control of Ramnath's another grandson, Manoj Santhalia. Also, the real estate holdings of the former Indian Express group are in the hands of the Ramnath Goenka's only daughter-in-law, Saroj Goenka, through Express Infrastructure Limited. Hindustan Times. The Birla family is now a massive tree in itself, with branches everywhere. Suffice to say that Krishna Kumar Birla is a part of this family tree. So when Madan Mohan Malviya was looking for funds to save the English newspaper called the Hindustan Times from shutting down, K.K. Birla contributed. Later in 1933, he took over the Hindustan Times. When his daughter Shobna Bhartiya, married to Shyam Sundar Bhartiya, took over the reins of the newspaper in 1986, it was not considered too big a deal. But in the following years, Shobna has successfully made the newspaper into one of the biggest brands in the India and the number 2 newspaper behind the Times of India. Occasionally, she has been labelled as a favouring the Congress, as she was nominated by the party to the post of Rajya Sabha MP in 2006. But in 2017, the newspaper's editor, Bobby Ghosh, reportedly resigned after a meeting with Narendra Modi. This has also said to have been followed by attempts to tone down anti-government reports in the newspaper. DNA. In 2005, a newspaper was launched in Mumbai. Its ambition dislodge the leader, Times of India, and become the widest read newspaper. The holding company of DNA, Dailyat8 Media Corporation Limited, was a joint venture, a 50-50 between the Dainik Bhaskar Group and the SL Group, Z News. But the Times of India did one better and launched the Mumbai Mirror for the free. The price war and the high salaries that DNA had to pay to its editorial staff eventually made it blink. In 2012, Subhash Chandra's Z Group took control of the paper, taking over Dainik Bhaskar's stake. Later, in a spate of mergers and changes, the paper's ownership was changed from one company to the other, when, according to a media report, gave the company a tax break. What has not changed is the loss-making ability of the newspaper. As of September 2014, the holding company DMCL had total accumulated losses of 961 crores. This has made some ask, why is Z so intent on running a loss-making paper? Dainik Bhaskar. How can you have a newspaper without a family dispute? Dainik Bhaskar's founder, Dwarka Prasad Agrawal, spent the 90s fighting over the ownership of the newspaper with his son, Ramesh Chandra Agrawal. His father from his first marriage, Ramesh did not agree with his father's two daughters from his second marriage being given equal status. In fact, his father went to court against him and managed to ban his son from publishing the Dainik Bhaskar in 1991. In 2003, the court gave the ownership of the title Dainik Bhaskar to one of the stepsisters, Hemlata Agrawal. But in 2006, DB Corporation Limited signed an agreement to take the ownership of the trademark. what cannot be disputed is that it was Ramesh Chandra who, through his efforts, managed to take Dainik Bhaskar out of Madhya Pradesh and into Rajasthan and Gujarat, as well as into radio and outdoor advertising. The company as of now is split into two parts. The Dainik Bhaskar is published by DB Corporation Limited, headed by the family of the now late Ramesh Agrawal. At the same time, the DP Agrawal Publications is spearheaded by Dwarka Prasad's daughter Hemlata Agrawal and launched its own news channel Bhaskar News in 2014. In fact, in the 2009 red herring prospects from the DP Corporation Limited, the trademark was still being disputed by other parties. The Hindu, said to be one of the most boring newspaper in the country. The family fights behind the scenes are much more entertaining. Started in 1878, the newspaper was acquired 20 years later by Kasturi Ranga Iyengar, while there is no dispute on who owns it now, as 4 branches of the family each own 25% in the holding company Kasturi & Sons. Rumors about its functioning persist. Cousins accuse the other of taking biased positions on politicians, be it Modi or be it A. Raja, while they covertly take down other members using boardroom tactics. So it seemed like a breath of fresh air when Siddharth Vardarajan was appointed as the editor of the newspaper, the first from outside the family. Of course, it was too good to last. Some controversies later, Siddharth resigned, saying the paper was reverting back to be. Even before that, court cases have been filed for ownership. Family members have resigned from the board and have accused each other publicly and privately. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, leave a comment and don't forget to subscribe for such amazing videos.